do do do. Loading stream. Do 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 do. Look, Mom, I'm actually using my starting soon screen. See, I can't even remember the name of it. It's just such a mystery. Bum, 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 bum. Do 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 do. Bam. Do 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 do. I must thank the internet overlords for allowing me to stream at 1080p. Let me have that one extra megabit of bandwidth, so I can reliably stream at this this fine resolution. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do do do. Yeah, let's get that ad break. Do 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 do. Getting everything all set up over here. You know, as soon as I get out of this starting soon screen, I'm going to still be messing with all the windows and such. Because there'll probably be something that isn't connecting, or isn't shaped just right, or I'll forget to silence my phone. Do 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 do. Ooh, I know what I can do. That's a good idea, Rusty. Thank you, Rusty. You're so smart. Bum, 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 bum. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Get shareable link. Link copied to clipboard. Okay, YouTube, I will trust that that's actually the link that I want to share. Okay, wow, this is entirely too much swang. See, I told you I would adjust things. I told you I'd be adjusting things. I mean, I love the lean in, but this swang, it's like the wind is a little too strong in here, and I am but a weak little tree. A sapling, if you will. Yep, definitely need to adjust that. Movement range and the slouching. Okay, just also need to check if my eyebrows work. Always the most important part. Man, we are still very reactive today. How about the hands? Actually, the hands are doing very nice. It's almost like I have enough fingers, too. Almost. Okay. So last time, we had fun crashing, well, right over here. Right over here. Right over here. Something about this, this hangar bay. One, we couldn't get into it. And two, boy, did we crash right up here somewhere. Right up here somewhere. Something up here, where we fell through the floor, mind you. That may or may not have been my fault. Somewhere up here, we fell through the floor and boom! All sorts of crashing. Well, as much as I don't want to, I might get rid of this whole hangar bay. Oh man, it's such a cool looking location though. Look at this. Look at this place. We got little missile racks, missile carts here. Got a little sweeper boy. Sweepo. This track gets me every time with that stutter. We've got this cool, really cool piping and exhaust. Yeah, like I mentioned, I never explored this area because I couldn't get into it. This door right here is cursed. Apparently there are some extra colliders there somewhere. I don't really want to mess with them. Although I should do that. Hey, he left his feet. Yep, that ship was having shader issues. And we'll just get rid of that one too. And I don't know if those shader issues are what was causing our overall problems, but, you know, you never know. Oh, look at that. So the material is shifted over slightly. And I wonder if that is the, that's the material, the material being a separate image source, or having a separate image, or, yeah, it says separate material in the corner there, or if it's just shifting it over. because the way these Cinti, the way the Cinti textures are set up is pretty cool. It's just a big color swatch, and all the UVs are shrunk down and crammed in there. You know, let's go find one to show you off. Polygon Sapphire Space. Materials. Oh, and look, some of them I didn't even convert over. No wonder. No wonder that ship was having issues. Why? Texture. Rim color detail. Yeah, so that's there. So whatever this rim color is must not be set up for URP. Wait, what does that say? Really? Really? Why does it say that? Font acid icon, input field icon, sprite acid icon, and text component icon. And that spells fist. Could have been worse, I suppose. All sorts of possible textures to use here. And look at all those. This could also be why I'm having issues. Could also be why. Welcome in, Amber. Yeah, there are all sorts. Ew, what on earth? I have no idea what some of these are. I wonder if this is for like a static TV screen or something. But like, for instance, here is the... I can just choose any of them. Let's see, can we open them up big? Can we open them up big? Well, we can. Textures. Well, here we go. Those other ones are right here. The detail. So I wonder why this one was having such problems. But we are going to open up our textures. Go in Explorer. Cincola. They used all of this space. Look it. They used all of this space for a billboard. Not even a billboard. A soda machine ad. So all of these colors, because these mostly flat shaded low polygon sets in this asset pack. And so if we go deep into the UVs of all these items that we see, and all over the space station, the faces, the different faces, are all crammed in somewhere here. Now, granted, each object's UV, they all share the same texture atlas. And an atlas is just where, you know, it's a shared or optimized texture file, usually used by more than one thing. But yes, so this blue is probably that one, probably right around here. So it makes it really easy to change colors of things. Yeah, so you can kind of see here, they just shift the tile over if you want to change the color of something. If you want to change it within Unity, when they're designing it, they can just drag the UVs wherever they want. The UVs, the coordinates. And then I think down here, these are probably for the different emissive colors, so things that glow. I'm kind of guessing. These are just a couple of little status charts. Here's a keyboard. Now they do have more than one. Um, they do have more than one texture atlas for this asset pack because there's a bunch of signage and different screens, like little different computer screens. So they're in here somewhere. And this one's cool. Ooh, the soda, the Sin Cola. Sin being for Cinti. It glows because it's emissive. So this is probably where all my little glows in the corridors and other glowy items come from. They're somewhere in this part. So if we wanted to shift the colors around, we could either do that in the material itself, or change it in the source file. Like if I wanted all my lights to be orange, bam. Or I should say, not lights, things that glow. If I want my lights to be orange, well, that works slightly different. But yes, I was just exploring this little area here that crashed last time. Oh, here we go. Here's an example of the stuff that's somewhere else. It's probably under FX textures. No, probably not. Probably not. It's in here somewhere, and that's okay. Oh, what was I just saying about different colors? Here we go. You can see this one's red, purple, tealish. Yeah, so that's pretty neat. And they do that with most of their texture stuff. For instance, here's one of the things I edited. I changed it to the pipes screensaver. Show in Explorer. Ta-da! So here we have the office stuff. So you see some little pictures that are on the post-it notes in my office. You know, the toilet. The out of order, the manager sign. The get back to work, hang in there cat. Love it. But yeah, for the colors, for instance, Rusty, for my texture atlas, I used basically the same thing. Let's see if I can find my own stuff. Materials. You, not that one. Not that one. Materials. Textures, here we go. I have a highly edited version of the Polygon Office. Ta-da! So basically, I took out as much as I wanted to save space. So all of Rusty's, most of Rusty's colors and materials are right here. And I left plaid in for some reason. Now the materials that are not in here would be stuff that glows, like my eyes, right? So I can swap them. So that's how. Lumberjack cosplay. Funny you mentioned that. We have a farmer outfit. This one's from the farm pack. I don't know if they have a lumberjack in there. But this did start off with a big old bushy beard, and I almost left that in just for fun. This was, I was going to do some Stardew Valley streams, so I thought I'll add this one in. And little backstory, one of the reasons I went with this asset pack as a starting point for my character creation, like a year ago, almost a year ago, is because I wanted to swap out more bodies. So based on the game or genre or my mood that day, just be able to swap between different bodies. But this suit kind of stuck. I figured for branding, the head is plenty enough branding. So I didn't really need to stick with that. But in my main Maya file, I do have a few other bodies that I just didn't get around to exporting when I set up my VRM file for my avatar. So they're not here for the ride. The only ones we have here for the ride are, we go way over here, my player armature. We've got, what do we got here? Yep, we got the farmer. In fact, does the other one even have the farm? The other one does have the farmer. Hey, wait a second. Let's try something out here. You've been telling me I could have been running around here as the farmer the whole time? Let's say change over and... Oh, he is not textured. We could fix that easy enough. Yeah. I didn't bring the space farmer exactly. I didn't bring over the texture file. I mean, that is super easy to fix. But yeah, no, there's some cool, especially for the space one here. There are some really cool outfits. And of course, what do they have now? Modular hero. So they have a system where it's completely modular. So I wouldn't even need to do all the editing that I do for that I had to do to remove the heads and bring them in here. Because I did have to no, we're gonna fix him right away. What do we got? Lambert 2. You shouldn't be a Lambert 2. You should be... Oh, it's baked in there. Wait. Material, Lambert. So you know this one says Lambert 2 also. Well, that's not right. Come on, I saw you hiding. You're hiding right there. I mean, we might as well fix this since we're right here anyways. No, we apparently will not fix this. Duplicate. Is there not a duplicate? There we go. This might, come on, this might not work. Rusty Farm. In fact, this will not work. I can almost guarantee it. Because they would be in different spots. Base map, there we go. Okay, so we got Rusty Farmer, Ontario. Yeah, that's still not right. That's weird. Oh, I am a silly. Okay. Yeah, it's not gonna work anyways because most of these things won't line. Actually, they might line up. Hold on. Where's Polyoffice Rusty? Polyoffice variant. Polyoff Rusty. Well, look at that. It worked. So enough of that that file is the same. Okay. Yeah, that's easy enough then. There we go. Something I haven't fixed in months and months. So we got this. I'll pause it. And enable that guy. And disable this guy. See, I don't have the, ew. I mean, I'm half right. The mud splash doesn't line up. Actually, the shirt's a different color too. Anyway, let's try. Oh, the plaid. The plaid doesn't line up. They are in different spots. Yeah, instead it looks like I murder, yes, or you know, too many ketchup packets. We're going to pretend this one didn't happen here. We're just going to yeah, we'll leave it like that. It's interesting that they don't line up one for one. But anywho, that was not the focus of tonight's endeavors. Tonight's endeavors. What are tonight's endeavors? Very messy burger, yes. Very messy burger. There we go. Let's see, last time we played around with Virtual Boy mode, we fixed a whole bunch of small things, but didn't get to the big things, but we fixed a bunch of small things, including only one model showing up when I start the program here. Instead of both of these guys. Come on. Instead of both of these guys. Okay, and we have this whole area set up now. With a really cool walkthrough. Yeah. Oh, that is such a cool effect. Such a cool effect. Okay. And I need to add in more camera controls. Since I have the lighting controls pretty much where I want them. But the camera controls are a little... Oh! Off screen, I put the correct emissive textures on our boy. On materials here. On our small child. And I thought about this. Since he's, Rusty Pro Max over here, he already has 3 cameras. So he is the cameraman. There we go. But now he can see in the dark like the rest of us. Oop. Maybe he can see a little too well. A little too well. Oh, but yes, these letters were actually a pain in the butt to get into Unity. So Unity has 2 built-in ways of adding text. Neither of them worked for what I wanted to accomplish. Even the legacy system, which is supposed to make polygons, not just a it's supposed to make physical letters and not just a little texture. That didn't want to do this either. I mean, I am trying to do something sneaky by having this whole layered effect look. But yes, I actually went into Maya, typed out some text, gave it depth, and exported it. That's why it looks a little, has a little thickness to it, because it does. See, it has about that much thickness. And way too many polygons, because I did not care about optimizing it for this little trick, which was basically just going to be the trailer for this week's schedule. So much. Oh yeah, no, I love how it turned out though. It's got it reminds me of fridge magnets. The little alphabet fridge magnets that you stick to the fridge. I remember having them when I was a wee little rusty. Not quite this font though. Probably had a super generic font. This is a, let's see, OCR Standard A, which doesn't come with every version of Windows apparently. So I had to transfer it between computers when I was working on projects. I don't remember which one did and which one did not have it, but it's a very readable font. I just really don't like that R. That R bothers me. So I fixed it when I was working on my logo. My logo, which I have not used since I made it, because I am silly. Where is said logo? Let's go find it. Under stream stuff. Rusty logo idea version 8. That's probably the... Nope, not that one. 7? That one looks pretty close. I don't know if that's the finalized one. I have 8 different variations. I don't know if which exact one I chose at the end. Well, isn't that funny? I have some sitting here in ideas, but nope, that's probably the one we got. I never got around doing the line art. This is just a PNG. But yes, the Rusty Robot Factory. I need to finish that so I can start stamping it everywhere. All right. So, things we need to add. Lighting to the camera. Lighting to the camera, because as we discovered while we were working on this, I was like, man, why are the texture of that teal screen? Why is it awful? It's because we don't have lighting over there. So, as part of our very simple stuff we can work on, we can add some lighting over there, or lighting to us. Kind of like a spotlight. So I almost wonder if I should make a very large spotlight, which is easier to control than a point light. Wow, was that really just sticking through my head instead of... Yeah, okay. So the leap is mostly, the leap motion is mostly behaving itself tonight. Where is our camera? Ooh, but if I attach it to the camera, it will not be attached to first person mode. Oh, that's fine too. That is fine too. Oh, I have another character hiding in here. Hello. Can I control you too? Start as a character avatar. What do you use? Armature avatar. I wonder if I can control you too. Look at that. We'll just say I'm like under arrest or something. And that's why he is directly behind me like that. Sure. Personal space if you don't mind. Thank you. Thank you. He's not hooked up to locomotion. Yeah, he's not hooked up to locomotion or any controls. He comes with this asset pack. I mean, look at that cool eye patch, though. That is a cool eye patch. And a hat. I do like that too. I imagine I was using him when I first started playing around with everything, because he's native to this pack. I deleted all the other people though. I think they're when you first load this whole demo level for the asset pack, there's people like everywhere. I think I just went delete. So I might have some garbage collection to do. This is why we're starting fresh when we do get as much done as possible here. So I can take something I can package up, being my main controller, my character, my controllers, as in some of these scripts that I keep using, like control lights and post stuff. Maybe like the green screen area and the lighting rig that I made the other day. So I can package those things up and drop them into a fresh project. So we don't have all this crashy stuff following along behind us. But we will have all the tools to remake the crashy stuff so it can crash again. Well, it looks like we're going to have an ad break in just a wee bit here. But just for fun, armature avatar, character avatar, let's hook him up and see. Just for fun. Because this is all about fun anyways. Come on. No, he is not. He should be walking right now. Because he is hooked up to the right... That's interesting. Maybe. No. Oh well. I should delete him out of there anyways. Sorry, Captain. I got a skeleton in here, but I think that's the actual, like, bones and stuff, not a skeleton. Dun, 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 dun. Geometry. Oh, this is probably the... Ooh. Oh, this is the armature that comes with the starter assets pack. Basically the demo, Unity's demo. I think it's their like deprecated demo. That's their demo of how to do, how to make a very basic character running around an arena and stuff. See, like I said, a lot of stuff I need to cull out of here. Ooh, event system. Ooh. Wait, send pointer hover to... That seems important. We'll worry about that part off stream. We'll worry about the first one. What were we gonna do? We were gonna go find our camera. Player follow camera. And we're gonna add some lighting to it. Where are you, player follow camera? We're gonna follow the follow camera. Make a light. Let's... Ooh, we could do a directional light. That might be better than a spotlight. That would indeed be better than a spotlight. Okay. Type directional real time. Yes, absolutely real time. Color intensity, blah blah blah. Render mode. Shadows, no shadows. We want soft shadows. There it goes. Okay. Interesting. We're gonna make these expensive shadows. Near plane strength. Okay. Let's give this a little save and test it out. Might have to change we might change this to temperature instead of color. Let's see how that turns out. Whoa, jeez. Well, we definitely have that light on there. I would say that I would say that intensity 1 may be a little bright. Okay, let's... Come on. There we go. Yeah, that is a little bright. It works though, doesn't it? So here's nothing. So here's what we had, which was obviously too dark. And it flattened all the colors of my model. Not the background though, interesting enough. Okay, I do like this better than a spotlight, because a spotlight would have the, the circle of projection, which, makes obvious sense. Temperature. Let's put it like 4,500. It's a nice, warm, possibly too warm. Filter colors. Ooh. Okay, I was playing with this in post-processing, and it looks like it'd be way easier to do in just with a light gel. Essentially a filter would be a thing you put in front of the light that changes colors. Neat. Neat. We are not going to have any of that, though. Indirect multiplier. Cookie. Is cookie what I was trying to think of? No? Oh, okay. Okay, good. That is what we were looking for. We have soft shadows. We have expensive soft shadows. Let's see what we've got going here. Hey, we're back to 60 FPS. All right. So apparently whatever problem we had got solved somewhere in the last like 2 weeks. Move this over here. And let's kill our main lights. There. We are no longer murdering our CPU, but we still have lighting, so that's nice. Yeah, I need to decide, and partially I should do this by watching some movie behind the scenes stuff. I need to decide what I want to add to my overlay controls, which theoretically I will see and you guys won't see when we're running in the finalized export. Okay, now I do need to add a toggle for this. The green screen is not matte, and it really should be a matte green screen, as in not reflective. Because you shouldn't have, defeats the whole purpose of a green screen. I had this problem when I had a physical green screen, not because it wasn't the right material, it was. The problem was that, well, it was a little bit shiny, but the problem was that my lights were too close to it. My lights to try to even out the lighting, they were too close to the actual green screen. And it had the same kind of issue. So it wasn't a nice even green behind it. There were light spots and shadow spots. I think next time I try that, I'm gonna backlight the green screen. It was for the robot. It was for putting a green screen behind the robot. But I have other ideas for that too. So I can put him in other environments. I'm just thinking putting a TV behind him. The only thing is I would have to, I don't know if I have any TVs that have a matte finish on them. And a computer monitor just is not large enough. It'd be like behind his head. That's a problem with a life-size robot. He big. It's nice because he can, we can share clothes. But yeah. That makes such a nice fill light. That makes such a nice, well, technically it's a key light, but Okay, maybe it's even a little bit too much. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cycle the brightness. When I add my hotkey, which is probably going to be Y. I'm running out of keys. I need to start mapping these to my my touch portal, which is effectively a Stream Deck. It's just an app version instead of, and way cheaper if you have an old Android device lying about. So I think they have the app for Apple products too. But anyways, if you have an old device like I have a Note 3, 4. It's either a Note 3 or a Note 4 right here. And it is run. You know, the nice thing is it runs on ancient ancient phones as long as they're still running and have like a minimum Android operating system. Ooh, touch portal. I think it's one word. Let me see. Where are you on my desktop? Touch port. 2 words. Touch portal. Super handy. It is. Yeah, it's like a. It's a one-time purchase. I want to say $12 or $15. No, I would love to have. I would love to have a Stream Deck, probably the big one, like the 32 button one, because of the tactile feedback and the plugins. But this is nice. Like their software, you can here. Why not? It doesn't show anything. There. It does show my IP, but it's my local IP anyways. So here's what I currently have. Oops. Here's what it looks like. This is, you can set what kind of grid you want. And yeah, so here I have sub pages. Just OBS stuff, just Twitch stuff. I can switch between different cameras. Does it register if I... No, I thought maybe it would highlight them in the app because this is the desktop version. So I can get close, get far, zoom in, but I broke that when one of my OBS crashes. I like headset. I can toggle my headset on. So I can tie in like all sorts of shortcuts. So my VTuber ones are all these, well, except for this one. They're all these orange ones. So I color coded them, right? Like here's some OBS ones. Like here's starting a replay buffer. Super handy, by the way. It basically makes a clip and saves it to your hard drive while you're streaming. Super handy. I don't remember where I found that tip, but it was one of those like beginner tips you might not know about OBS. I use it all the time. Instead of setting markers in my VODs, which I probably should also do. But anyways, this switches between my screens. They have a bunch of built-in templates too. But these are my VC Face buttons. So, is this one VC Face? Yeah, I think this is a blend shape to change my textures. Yes. Yeah, so I have a dark mode texture change for when I'm in playing, games that are a lot darker than this, so I don't glare on the screen. And toggle my, got some toggles. I've got, it's a little subtle, and for some reason my eye doesn't work quite as well. Orange. Oh, that's the color toggle. Business. Oops. Business. Farmer. Donut eyes, which, see, I never use, like a true VTuber, I don't use most of my toggles. Yeah. Oh, and very important. Mug. When I'm taking a drink. Oh, and it is broken. It is broken, and I am leaving it that way. Right? The Boolean operation did not work right. Don't know why it didn't work right on such a simple thing, but I left it. There, little fun behind the scenes. I'd show you other pages, but they might show like IPs and stuff. Oh, I guess not. For instance, here's the they come with the default pages. Oh yeah, there's my local IP, but whoop-de-doo. It is I do have this connected. Theoretically, you can plug it in. You can plug it into your computer, so you have a direct connection, which would be nice. However, it kept disconnecting, which is annoying because it could have charged the phone and done its job at the same time. So it's super annoying that it didn't do that. So it's just over Wi-Fi, and they're shortcuts. It's not like it's not like they need to be instantaneous. But yeah, that's a bummer. But yeah, one of the cool things about this is you could run this off of a phone or a tablet. In fact, I think Nutty was showing off a template, or not template, a setup he made with this, where he had like 128 buttons on his iPad. I don't remember if it was this or if it was with the Elgato. We'll call it the Elgato version. Just a whole bunch of buttons. But that's on an iPad Pro, which is, notebook sized instead of phone sized. But yeah, cool behind the scenes. But like I was saying, I'm gonna take off some of those toggles I don't use, as a VTuber, of course. With our many toggles, I'm gonna take off some of those toggles, and I'm gonna put in some useful things like, I don't know, my lighting and camera controls. Yes, but no, super helpful. There aren't too many. I don't know of too many. I'm gonna call them shortcut key softwares. If you want to get nitty gritty, AutoHotkey would be another one. I don't know the state of it these days. AutoHotkey. I used to use that way back in the day for a tablet PC, because a tablet PC does not have a keyboard. And so when I was using like Photoshop and didn't have an undo button handy, drove me nuts. But I did make an AutoHotkey template. Now we're talking like 10-15 years ago. So it was nice being able to have like copy, paste, delete, etc. Just sitting right in the corner of the screen. But yeah, I can't vouch for that program these days, but I think some people do still use it for mapping like controllers to do funny stuff, or other kinds of input devices. Oh, yes, like a numpad. If you don't have an old phone laying around, or you don't have basically, if you don't have an old phone laying around that you could use for a touch portal, you can use a USB number pad. So that'll give you like an extra 15 keys or so. Because you get, the number pad on your keyboard, plus the math stuff. For that, you can use AutoHotkey. It does have a use, and there's plenty of helpful tutorials for that. But for now, I'm trying to think about how I would hook that up without making it a ridiculous key combination. Because I'm not always going to be using this compiled. I'm going to be using this software, this app. I hate calling it app. App is a thing you play with on your phone. But this thing I'm making, the smart thing to do would be to use the thing I'm supposed to use instead of writing all the code for it. And I would assume that I can then map that to the keyboard. So what we should be using, instead of putting the key, detecting the key press in our scripts, is we should be using the action maps of the, what do they call it? Oh my gosh, see, I never use it, so I'm, because I'm mostly doing this in a, fly by the seat of my pants, testing, debugging. It's the input controller. So anyways, you want to add actions, you want to map them to things. Here you go. Like I do have, well, here you go, super speed. So I've got sprinting, which is the left shift, so I can, walk her faster. But that wasn't fast enough. So when I use the arrow keys on my keyboard instead of WASD, I have super speed. And then I access this from a script. But here, I could set this to whatever I want. In fact, I should. I should set this to my controller. Look at that! It knows I added a PS4 controller. That's creepy. So Unity must be reading my Windows settings. Because I don't think that PS4 controller was there like a week ago before I added my controller. Interesting. And awesome. Let's see, what do I have jump? Gamepad. Okay, so I haven't mapped to it, just a gamepad. Ooh. A cool thought did occur to me that, so the PS4 controller that I happen to have right here, they have that little trackpad in the middle. It'd be super specific to, my setup here, but this whole thing is anyways. But I wonder if I can map that little trackpad. Could be interesting. Could be interesting. So we're gonna do a bunch of stuff here before we ever get to what we're trying to get to. For one thing, we'll just do sprint. We're going to add a binding. What do we need to do here? Button south gamepad. Super easy. Gamepad. Generic. Button. Let's make it button west. Which in my case is the square. Super easy. Oh man. That could be really handy for that could be really handy for some of the camera control kind of stuff. So Amber, I don't know if you were here when I was discussing a couple streams ago, when I was discussing why I also want to have a gamepad controller. Because you would think, hey, I want to talk with my hands all the time. Let's save this. But one of the cool things about a controller is I am actually going to use my feeties. I'm going to have this gamepad down by my feet so I can walk and talk at the same time. Why are you flashing? Did I turn off my Bluetooth again? I did. Okay, there we go. So, forget how much corridor. I keep running out of corridor when I'm this way. But, in fact, let's try it. As I remember to take out my earpiece this time, I need to make a little cushion for it. Oh, there's no way I'm gonna be able to hit the jump button stuff. Am I? Jump button? Where are you? You know what I need? I need a DDR pad. I'm going to trademark this idea right now. DDR controlled VTuber. Man, I saw a DDR pad at a rummage sale this summer too. Okay, stop jumping. Stop jumping. Where are you? So, as I was saying, I can walk and talk and still run out of corridor somehow. There we go. Yeah, man. Lean, go around. Okay, so I can walk and talk with my hands and still move around. How awesome is that? And apparently I can even jump. This works great. Also, that light is really bright. There. Also, look at... I can use the camera. Ineffectively, but I can use the camera. I can walk, I can talk. Oh, this is fantastic. Oops. Oh, I really need to set that sensitivity on the camera. Oh my gosh. There we go. Yes. So basically I need to make some kind of gamepad enlarger. I wonder if they make just really big gamepads. Maybe like a gag gift where your Xbox controller's like just huge. Because then I can really walk and talk at the same time instead of getting foot cramps with my feet. Come on, get off there. Where are we going? I think I spun the camera around too many times. Here we go. Are we walking and talking again? Okay, we're walking and talking again. So there we go. Successful plan. As I walk into the wall. This will be great. Yeah, thumbs up. And also, yeah, I bet I could map some of the other buttons. Maybe like the D-pad, which is currently doesn't do anything, apparently. That's fine. Okay, putting this on the ideas list. Oh, the bright idea list. What if I have the orb there? I don't have the orb. There must be a reason why I removed the orb at one point. Probably because I didn't actually model a light bulb. There's got to be one of the easiest things in the world to model. On the to-do list. Okay, let's pick that controller back up so I don't accidentally slam my feeties into it. I keep saying feeties. I should probably... This is a symptom of having two small children in the house. You tend to cutesify words. My manliness. Yes. And cough. Rum. I don't know. Okay. Where are we? There we go. Okay. So we did some housekeeping. Oh, the script. I will worry about doing it the proper way later. For now, let's just go find our script. We need control lights. And I've got to say, I am loving this this new album from Backing Track. So major shouts out to Backing Track. Do they have a Twitch? I know one of the creators has a Twitch. It's Epos Fox. And I do love me some Backing Track. I've been playing it all year because they just let streamers. I mean, you can see it in the Winamp in the corner, but Backing Track. New album. Oh yes, I think this one is vaguely themed after Cyberpunk, so it's very appropriate. No wonder my ceiling stuff doesn't work anymore. What the heck happened here? Wait. Oh no, that's not. I faked myself out. Where's my... There it is. VTube Studio. Not VTube Studio. Visual Studio. I am getting everything crossed tonight. What time is it? Okay. We need key code Y. A. We are not currently using key code Y. Which is slightly suspicious. Are we sure we're not using key code Y? We're using E and R for the pickup system. Ooh, focus distance? Focus distance. What are you using? Z. So I should change that offset. It bothers me a little bit. Okay, no. It looks like control lights, which should just be control all. Control all. There's some light stuff. See, I'm controlling lights in my control light script. Character rig. Here's where I need it. There we go. I guess I could have done the whole project, but or solution. Come on, Rusty, you use this stuff nearly every day. You should be able to Visual Studio. This track certainly goes harder than some of the other ones on this album. Dang. He's crunchy. What are we gonna do? We need to add a light. We're gonna steal it from our control. Ooh, should we have it in our control light script since we're doing other lights here anyways? Or should we do it in our character rig? I think we're going to put it in control lights because we're going to do some fancy light stuff. And for now, we're going to make it Y. If on. Not quite. Let's serialize our fields because that is what we should be doing. Serialize field light. We're gonna call this light cam or cam light? Cam light. I think this was the one tricky thing about lights instead of objects. I don't want to have to load it twice. That's annoying. Let's see what I did over here. Because this is my studio lights. Ooh. No, I'm going to leave studio lights separate. I'm going to leave studio lights separate here. Reset the color. This should probably be its own script. Anyways, for now. Let's see if we can get the color temperature. That should be nice. Okay, input, color, blah, blah, blah. Cam light. Let's see what, ooh, range. What does that do? Oh, the range, the physical distance. Darn. I was hoping that'd be something fun. Color, color, temperature. We can grab the game object it is, so we can set it active and inactive based on that. Okay, that's nice. I think I knew that. Or the is active. I'll probably make it inactive. There we go. This is me just reviewing what's all in here. Can we get the intensity though? Intensity, there it is. Okay, let's see. I said I wanted to cycle it. Cycle the intensity with just the key clicker. Private. The real question is, will the intensity... Let's make this a... Yes, we'll make this a float. Because it is probably a float anyways. Okay, so what I was just mumbling to myself. I wonder if at intensity 0 it stops throwing out light rays. Or if I'll need to turn it on and off. Because that would make it very nice and easy. Cam light intensity will just equal cam light intensity. 0.2. Okay, let's go find out where our control lights is. Ta-da! Cam light. Let's find you. Directional light. I didn't name you? That's a silly one. Oh, neat. It has the little icon for what type of light it is. Okay. What we're gonna do for now with that script is we're gonna steal something from our studio lights. We're just gonna put that there. Public float light intensity. Okay. Just need to put it right there. We do not want a 5F. Good grief. 0 and 0 and 1. Oh, I made it private. That was silly. And I gotta stop minimizing my thing too. Public. Public because I will probably want to call this from my interface. Otherwise, serialized field, so it takes up less resources apparently. There we go. Okay. So first things first, we're going to turn off all the lights. So if we look over here in our stats, well, somehow we still have 6,000 shadow casters. That doesn't make any sense. That really does not make any sense. Why do we have so many shadow casters? Usually when I turn off the lights, it goes down to like 400. That is concerning. I hope my directional light I just added isn't doing that. In fact, what on earth? We have debugging to do. My cam light is not doing its thing. Oops. Here we go. Yeah, I think that directional light is problematic. Let's go find it. This one, and holy crap. We are not going to have that be a directional light anymore. Wow. Apparently you only use that for the whole environment. Because check out the shadow casters. Now check out the shadow casters. Okay, so directional light. Oh, and so the reason it's not showing here. Directional light is for your whole environment. That makes sense. In Maya, I think it works differently. But yeah. So the reason it's not showing here is because we have a ceiling. See? We have a ceiling above our heads. If we go here, we do not have a ceiling above our head. In fact, here too. See? Oh, cool thing. So this directional light, it's for the whole environment, right? The whole everything. Here's the shadow of Giant Rusty, also known as He Who Looms Over Us. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we are going to change that to the spotlight. That's ridiculous. Okay. Cool. Debugging. Cool. Dang. Wait, okay, one last thing before we do our debugging. Or before we end our debugging. It's not... Wow, okay. It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. So even though it at least doubled the amount of shadow casters, still cheaper than running all those point lights. Interesting. Still cheaper on the old CPU. Probably because there's only one of them. Probably because there's one giant light. Okay. We need to fix that. Amazingly, how do you fix this? It's fixed. Done. We do need to tweak it though. Let's see, let's see. And I did like having it set as a set using the filter and temperature, because then I can later on play with that filter color, because this is just a kind of everything light. It is acting more as a fill light than a key light, because not highlighting, the goal is not to highlight the character's face, it's to kind of fill the area with color, or with light and color effect. So the question is, should it even cast shadows? Time to get out my old photography textbooks, I guess. Which wouldn't be the worst idea, but like any good product of this current age we're living in, YouTube or Reddit. If it was a programming issue, I'd go to Stack Overflow. Yes, YouTube, Reddit. Definitely not the not just Google. It's wonderful, sometimes accurate, sometimes accurate AI summaries. We're gonna make this much higher spot. Let's save that and give it a shot. Give that spot a shot. Ta-da. I did have Y set to something else. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. That's what I get for not using the correct input controller. And also it wouldn't have changed the lighting because of that. Okay, what the heck? This is a very, very, very crunchy album. A little too crunchy for my mood right now. Where are we? Slayer Wars. That makes sense, I guess. Too crunchy. There we go. Oh, Amber, we discovered the perils of using a directional light, because it works very largely. It's basically the sun as a lighting source for the whole everything. And we found this out because we went outside. So I needed to change it to a spotlight. I thought it'd be a great idea. I thought it was a localized directional light, seeing as the icon was sitting right here on the camera where I put it. No, it was the everything. Which I should have known better, because there's something similar back when I used to use Mental Ray in Maya. So when I used to use a thing in Maya called, I don't know what the equivalent is for today, because my knowledge in lighting and rendering in Maya is obsolete. Modeling and animation just fine. Rendering and lighting is obsolete, though, unfortunately, because they stopped using what I used to use. They stopped supporting it, I think the company stopped making it altogether. I digress. In Maya, we used to have physical sun and sky, which instead of using, okay, see the space here? This space is creating it's a sky dome. So it's casting light and influencing the colors of the environment. Cool, right? Imagine a dome, like we're in a planetarium, with a dome with the stuff on it. You can also have, clouds and other stuff, but we're in space, so we don't have clouds. We don't have the same kind of clouds in space. Anyways, if you didn't want to use a sky dome, or certain kinds of rendering, light-based rendering. You would use physical sun and sky, which was a light source that, depending on its angle, acted as if that was the angle of the sun. In fact, you could set latitude and longitude on it. So you could pick essentially, you could pick a point on the Earth and then set the angle of this light. And I don't know if you could do date. I forget how in depth it went. But anyways, you could set the angle of it, and I think the latitude and longitude of it, and it would basically simulate the light at that time of day, the angle, and that location. It was something like that. It was very impressive. And then of course you could do all sorts of other modifiers to it, like how hazy is it, all sorts of stuff. And if you wanted nighttime, you just flipped it upside down. So you wouldn't be in Australia, you would be, at nighttime. Because then the moon would be in the sky. It was really cool. I have no idea if the current rendering system has an equivalent for that. Because honestly, I don't plan on doing any rendering in Maya. This is too easy. This is too easy for real-time rendering. And I have no clue what the Blender equivalent would be. Not a clue. I do know that image-based lighting is, I guess, more standardized. Back in my day, I think back in my day we were starting to use image-based lighting more as a resource. Okay. So first we're going to play with this light, because I forgot that I had mapped something else to the Y key. Well, there you go. That's a nice effect. Let's go way over here. I would say that that is not too overpowering. It is a spotlight. I do, I think I might just get rid of the center of it, the bright portion of it, or make it all bright portion. Now that is a spotlight. This would be for a flashlight, or maybe if you have just that slight little fuzzy edge. There you go, flashlight. And in fact, we have a flashlight. But for my purposes, that. Oh, and this is going to be a little misleading because I have a filter, a post-processing filter around the edge of the screen. Okay, so I'm going to say we want it to be probably 10. 0 to 10. Cool. And I like this warm light, although it does make it look a little pink. So maybe we should stay for like 6K. And these are lighting terms. Although, lighting terms, like you can actually look on your light bulbs you get, your LED light bulbs, and maybe compact fluorescents if they still even manufacture those. They'll have what kind of light they are. Some will say warm or cool. There we go. Let me change these settings. They'll say warm or cool, but usually they will have a temperature. I think for really warm lights they'll be like 2700, and for really cool ones they'll be around 6K. I think I have my lights in my office here at 4500 because I like that warm glow. But we'll make this 6,000 for a nice even light. If you look at this little bitty thing here, yeah. It's called temperature because it's Kelvin. Kelvin is a temperature. Yeah. I'm not sure the exact correlation. If it's like the light of the stars, maybe. But yes, Kelvin is a temperature system. Light color lighting that is color based is I could also do it color based, where I just pick from a color wheel, but I have it set to temperature. But yes, color can be measured. Light emission can be measured in temperature. Yes. Oh, here we go. There we go. There we go. Thank you, tooltip. I just left the cursor there. It is the correlated color temperature. The color temperature of the electromagnetic radiation emitted from an ideal black body is defined as its surface temperature in Kelvin. There you go. You know what? Let's ask the internet what Kelvin is the sun. About 5,800 degrees Kelvin. There we go. According to the Stanford Solar Calculator, as in Stanford University. Neat. Oh yeah, they have equivalents there and everything. That's kind of cool. Yep. So that's the surface of the sun. Yeah, very sciencey. That is one of the what I was rambling about before, the physical sun and sky in Maya, old Maya, my Maya that I have. The physical sun and sky, you can set these things, and because Maya, unlike Unity's, or at least the main intention of game development in Unity, one of Maya's big things was film. So movie special effects, movie, TV, etc. And also, to a much lesser degree, I think, video game stuff. So when they're rendering out some special effects or scenery or whatever in software like Maya, you need to be able to match everything. You want to match, like, oh, hey, if we're in a studio, which I'm kind of going to be making here, if we're in a studio, we need to match that lighting, so you want to match so any fake lights that you put in or lights that you would simulate, so you have the actors sitting there, and let's say you don't have this whole corridor built out, right? Oops, I'm on the wrong screen. You don't have this whole corridor. You just have this little bitty area right here as your physical scene, physical walls and everything. And you want to extend the scene. So you'd have your little your little green wall right here. And instead of having like the olden days, a matte painting, you would have a digital scene extension. In other words, you would have this level built out. So you would match up the cameras. You would match up your filming camera, in this case, this guy right here. You would match that up to where your physical camera is going to be. And that got so much easier since the movie Avatar. Watch the behind the scenes on that, if you can. Fascinating. James Cameron did so much cool stuff towards digital filming. It's just anyways, but yeah, you would want to match like these lights to the lights that are in to the lights that are in your physical location, your physical shooting location, or your set. you would want to match the same colors so you get the same lighting and such. So here you go. Get this. If you look at any other behind the scenes stuff, if you'll see someone, I don't know how it is these days because everything has changed since I stopped studying it. Aside from a few behind the scenes stuff like for The Mandalorian and some more of the James Cameron stuff, like Battle Angel. Oof. But it does change so fast. It really got revolutionized in the last decade. But yeah, so you'll see, at least in the olden days, quote quote, you'll see someone go around with an assistant or whoever, go around with some different objects. A white card, usually, and actually photographers use this still, so the white card still matches. So it has to match your white balance so that your camera, you know where white is. So that's more for the physical camera and color correction. But then you also do things like you would have a white sphere so you can get the ambient color. So you physically somebody would physically have a white styrofoam looking sphere, a ball. So you get the kind of general color and lighting. And then you would have a chrome ball. And that is to get the reflections from the environment. And it's also, you can color grade, color match, do special effects and integration. It's fascinating stuff. You need to specialize in these kind of things if you're going to, because you can't know everything. 2 spheres in a card. Well, they only do that at the start of the take, or when they need to recalibrate something, like when they're changing the lighting. Yeah, but no, definitely, I need to watch more behind the scenes. It's a problem with streaming, as opposed to just buying the disc. Quick, get off the spheres. Yes, you must handle the spheres. Where's the sphere handler? But yes, need to look for more behind the scenes stuff, probably on the YouTubes, since they usually don't have that stuff on the streaming sites. It's a real shame. So I'll need to start buying physical copies again, which I should do anyways. Just for that sweet, sweet behind the scenes goodness. So I can see how it's done. I think the last BTS I saw was for The Mandalorian. And some of those funny, amazing, fancy things are done in Unreal. Because you can do really good lighting in Unreal and camera simulation. You can do fun stuff here, but not quite the same. Not quite the same. Okay, Camlight, we need to fix you because we oopsied. We were currently using the letter Y for wireframe mode. Okay, we have it set at a lovely 0.2. I think we're gonna start it off. Oh, yes. We did change it. Okay, so we want it, I'm gonna say a 2. And we're gonna make this like, there we go. Because we had to change it. I changed my mind. Here we go. We're gonna do this. And this is gonna set the cam light intensity to 0. There. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This is better. This is better. Oh, no, I'm being sloppy. I'm being so sloppy. Here we go. Cam light. Yeah, hold on. Cam light intensity equals cam light intensity. What do I get for naming the variable the same as the thing I want to do? If cam light intensity is 0, then cam light intensity, let's make it 2. There we go. Messy, messy, messy. Messy code, don't look. And then what's it else? Close, else. If not, cam light intensity is 0. Turn it off. There's the perk of using the intensity, or... Oh no, I guess the other one would have intensity too. Never mind. Why is this... There we go. I have now fixed my sloppy coding. Okay, so every frame... Oops. Yeah, it's gonna have to test for that anyway, so we might as well just leave it like that. For now. Otherwise, every frame it's gonna set the... that's messy. Yeah, every frame it's gonna basically set the intensity of the camera light. Which is fine. It's fine. Okay, so here we are. Oh, I still have it initialized to 2. Okay, so now that light is starting off. So here's what we fixed. So if this key is pressed, in this case the U key, if it's pressed, then it checks. If the light is off, set it to, silly me, set it to cam light intensity. That ain't right. No, cam light intensity to 2F. Else cam light intensity is off. Ah. No, it is late night. Can you tell? This is what happens when you code all day. If it's off, set the cam light intensity to whatever it is. Else, turn it off. And we don't care what the variable is. There, that is the correct way to do it. I should not be doing coding streams at, even if it's light coding, I should not be doing coding streams at 10 p.m. Thank you for putting up with my rambling and my simple toggle statements. Okay. That doesn't look very on. Oh, dumbass. Okay. Of course it's not going to work. But now it will. I do not know why this wasn't. Hmm. Cam light intensity. Why is it at 0.2? Hey, all right. Wow. Yes, so that was the problem I actually ran into, is because I named two things too similar, and my brain that has been working all day got them switched up because I did name them so similar. So here we go. Let's try it with the lights out. Okay, no lights. Fill light. I called it a floodlight in my commentary, but there. So now I'm adding a fairly soft light, though it looks like it does get more intense the closer it is because it is a spotlight. So it makes sense. And this will be adjustable. Ta-da! No? No. It'll only be adjustable if I have it. Ow. If previous light is not the same as light, I have to add that in too. That makes sense. That makes sense. I have the same setup in my filming script. Where's my other light script? Wherever I put you. Makes sense. Again, I should not be coding at 10 p.m. But my studio light script, blah blah blah, it's very, very similar. I just need to store the previous. And then if the previous doesn't match, then, here we go. If light color is previous light color, it changes it. So it's the same thing. I will do that later. I will not do that right now. But yeah, that's basically what I need to do here. Yes. Because I could put it here or I could put it here. Actually, no, I should put it here. Bah, too much work. Oh, hello, hello, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in, Mr. Wildcraft. I am attempting code after a day of code. And I'm making very, very, very easy mistakes. Simple mistakes, not even easy ones. But yes, we are playing with the light. If light is, yeah, this will never work right here. What if I change the light value? Coding. Oh, this is theoretically very easy coding right here. Basically, if I hit the U key, if the light is already off, turn it up to whatever this is. If it is on, turn it off. so I can turn it on and off. It should be working. That should be working just fine. Let's go to a different area. Yeah. I'm trying to future-proof it so that I was running around funny. There. I'm trying to future-proof it so that I can tie it into an interface. So like an on-screen controls. So theoretically, oh, that is a very, very dim light. Yeah. So I'm turning on this light I just created, turning it on and off. Because there are no lights over in this this part of the map. Dim but working, yes. So what I should be able to do is make it nice and bright. Hey, okay, it does work. I just have to turn the light off first. I can't adjust it live because I didn't set it up to be adjusted live. Okay, so it does work. It does work. Let's turn it down a little bit and then turn it off and back on. Okay. It's not ideal though. I would want to be able to do this live. But while we're here, let's play with something else. Oh, maybe my... Oh, you can't see my favorite script? You can't see my favorite script? Right here? My delete me? One of the things we can do, though, is change the wireframe colors. Disco, 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 disco. Currently have 10 flavors to choose, or 11? 11 flavors to choose from. I want this to be mapped to a color picker, so I can say, I don't want just bright white or gold. I want to be able to shift between bright white and gold, or whatever. Yes, the Rusty Robot rave. Oh, you want a rave? Remember what we were doing last time here? When we enabled Virtual Boy mode? Virtual Boy mode. Where is my settings? Go over here. Because I don't think I mapped these to a hotkey either. So, where are we? This one? Nope, not that one. This one? Okay, this turns off the wireframe see-through, so that's fine. Here we go. Here's where it was. So it was this button. So we've got Rusty, all wireframey. However, everything. Ta-da! Ooh, and we're green right now, so that's kind of cool. Okay, T-pose and Rusty looks pretty cool that way. Since we're near the end of the stream anyways, let's have a little fun with it. Wait, should we do green or should we do Virtual Boy mode again? Let's do, where were we? Get back here. Is it post stuff? No, control lights. There we go. Oh, jeez. Gold is cool. This cool blue, that's nice. Red for Virtual Boy mode. Oh, cyan, nice. Ugh. So the reason this particular blue looks so fuzzy is because it's the same as my bloom settings. One of my lighting effects. And so it's just the right color. It's the reason my eyes glow a lovely shade of blue. Let's do Virtual Boy mode again. Which one was that? There we go. Bam. This one was fun. Oh man, that is just cool. And let's go to the office. Oh, I love how it still respects the depth of field. It still respects the depth of field. That is nice. Oh, and yep, we're still playing the game, so we can still knock stuff over and everything. But you can see all of the polygons, all the triangles, because Unity does everything in triangles, like I believe most game engines do. But yes, what a coincidence. The color I chose to make my lovely eyes stand out is the bloom color. But yes. This is cool. This is just cool. But look at all them triangles. Look at all them triangles. One adjustment I do want to make, along with the being able to pick what color the wireframe is to set the depth. So maybe the foreground is red, but then the wires fade to black, fade to the background. Or disco rave. That could be fun. So how does this one look with all the plants? Oh, look at all them little plants. All them pretty little plants. Look at that. I didn't realize this about the holographic displays. They're geometry. I didn't think they were geometry. Okay, so if you look, let's switch character models here. If you look right here, you see this like the circle and some of these goofy little lines and stuff. That is a holographic display screen asset. I thought that was an image, but it is geometry, so they just make that geometry glow. That is pretty cool. I wouldn't have noticed unless I popped into this mode. But speaking about popping into this mode, we're in the right mode? We are in the right mode. Let's scoot back into the corridor. Now we're in Virtual Boy mode. Yes. Still can't get the... Wait. You gotta get the sweet spot. There we go. The sweet spot of focus distance. So I can see my fingers. And they're in focus. Time to do some cyberpunking. Gotta break through that ice. Wow, that does look cool with the first-person camera, which I have dubbed Budget VTuber, or VTuber Budget VR. Because look, we got our hand tracking, right? And we can manipulate objects if I have them set up for physics. There we go, yeah. Oh, we got a little chat thing going on, that's cool. Thank you for the giant icon. Is my controller still hooked up? Because that'd be really nice. No, my controller must have timed out at some point. There we go. Oh, darn! I have to learn to loosen up my head a little bit. Get a little neck fatigue there, trying to hold my head perfectly still. So I don't make the camera jitter all over the place. That and my iPhone might be getting a little... No, actually the iPhone is, it's a little warm, but it's not too bad. Awesome. Whee! Oh, let me show you where I... Look at my goofy lean. Oh my gosh. I played with my movement settings. So this is a little ridiculous. Should be able to lean forward and backwards pretty good though. Look at me. I'm doing the giant slalom, right? I just need skis. Whoa! That is goofy. That is goofy. We're gonna save that. Limbo. Can't go up and down though, because so for my tracking, my hand tracking is the original Leap Motion, and for me it does really well for how I'm sitting, for how I'm positioned at my desk. Yeah, that is quite the lean. The Leap Motion does very well for me, for how I'm sitting. I would love a Leap Motion too, but I don't have, I think, $200 laying around right now. Unfortunately. I've heard it has a, just restart the music a little bit. It has a like wider field of view, because my hands time out right about there. So, which is still plenty. It covers more than my keyboard and mouse. And the depth is really good because you saw me reaching up. That was me reaching up towards my iPhone that I have on the other side of, behind my monitor. So I get really good depth with it. And it stays tracking pretty good. I have it on top of my keyboard. So a little space above the F keys is where I have mine, pointing roughly at a slight angle. But no, it's, I should angle it just a little bit more so I can like scratch the back of my head without it going out of range. But well, what are you gonna do? So one thing I wanted to show and test out, because I haven't actually tested this. Let's see. Lock my camera. Go in here. So this spatial mapping shader, so how we get Virtual Boy mode here, is I modified a shader, a material that was pre-existing. In fact, it's this one right here. Oh, neat! It shows what's currently being overridden. That is cool. Because these are overriding these settings right here that I'm playing with. It's overriding the existing everything, existing materials. So its original purpose and how I found it, is a multitude of layers. There we go. Whee! So how I originally found it is this is I think it's for augmented reality, so that you can programmatically see how, the distance of an object. So I think that's what the shader was originally written for. That's why they're so, you look at all this rainbow behind me here, and then it stops after a certain distance, because that's like the max distance. Can I get closer to the camera? Nope, because that's not how my camera works. But yeah, see how it moves as we go? So basically the code for the shader is testing the distance and then drawing all the little wireframes in the right colors. The right colors that it arbitrary. I'm sure it means something somewhere. So what I did is when I modified it, I got rid of the distance code and tweaked some other settings so I could pick which of these fine pastel-y colors I could use. Actually, they're not all pastel, just a couple of them. Yeah, so there's a little how I started with this shader. Because shader coding is, oof, I don't know a whole lot of graphics. I gotta find my shader now. I don't know a lot of graphics programming. Not super familiar with that. Now I'm terrible at like the high level math, which is funny because I'm a developer, but I don't touch that stuff. But yeah, neat stuff, huh? Neat stuff. Okay, let's pop out of there. And we are currently back to normal rendering modes. All right. Yeah, high level math is scary. That's why I have an art degree. And a software dev with an art degree. I'm excellent at problem solving. But some of that other stuff, some of the coding in here is, oof, like vectors and Euler angles or Euler angles. See, I can't even say the right word. Yeah, it's scary. Okay, so the question is, okay, I've saved. Will OBS just completely cut out when I go over to Chrome? If it does, we're going to snooze this ad because, yeah. If it does cut out, I apologize. And I will see you next week. No? All right. Good. Yeah, I think one of the last times I did that, I think I was still running the game environment. At the same time, I refreshed Chrome, and Chrome was already a memory hog. So we got all that fun stuff. We are gonna go say hi to Maple. I think. Is Maple online? No? Oh, I can't find Maple. I thought they were online. Let's go raid Happy Paka. Make sure my audio is just fine. Start the raid. There we go. Yes, let's go raid Happy Paka. Thank you for stopping by. Whoa, it's going really quick. Whoa. There it goes. Okay. She is a fellow 3D modeler and does a lot of 3D modeling type stuff. Part of the Dead Sun Fruitsy community, and pleasant individual. We'll go say hi to her. And the raid. Let's do Rusty raid. Oh, and then I gotta get running. It is getting late. And it is a school night. And by school, I mean work night. So we'll just do the good old dancing dinosaurs, because I love me some dancing dinosaurs. Bam. And, yeah, stay tuned to like a Blue Sky or wherever for next week's schedule, because I might have a workshop stream where I'm standing in my workshop working on the actual physical robot. So that should be fun. But yes. So see you next week. Bye. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah.